I just watched She-Ra, the Princesses of Power season 3, man. Oh man, this has been such a ride. I mean, I think they're ending soon. That's what the implication is. I mean, maybe they'll have one more season where they'll deal with Hardak's brother coming through and all that. Oh, sorry, spoilers, guys, if you haven't watched She-Ra. So, very big spoilers there. Spoiler alert. I'm gonna put it in the description anyway. So yeah, let's just quickly begin at the beginning, obviously, with season one. I thought this was gonna be just another like princess show where like you're just gonna deal with her like whining and moaning, which they admittedly they do sometimes, but it's not as much as I thought it would be. And then it's just gonna be them like wasting time. But I was pretty surprised that they went through the motions pretty quick here. Um, Man, I always have a soft spot for the like antagonists who used to be friends kind of thing, because I don't really like that plot line, even though I understand where it's coming from. It's like you're friends, but then you grow apart when life moves on and everything. But it's sad. It's really sad. I mean, and season three connects more to season one. So I think that was the best that they did. Season two was kind of like a hit and miss for me, because I remember watching it and I wasn't really impressed by it. I think the beginning was really strong, and then it pittered out for me during the ending. So I mean, it's kind of sad for me, season two. I mean, I wasn't really sure what they were gonna do, but I mean, it made sense that they wanted to introduce more princesses and bring them into the fray. But then I think for this show, it makes sense to focus more on the main character, and as well as the side characters that they introduced early on, which is Bo and Glimmer. So yeah, let's dive into more of season one, man. I mean, I really feel sad for Katra. Like that's all I'm gonna say, because I love Katra and her character, and I feel so bad, because I I have been in that position before, and I know what it's like to be compared to, and like it's just sad to see her character development go into such an extreme way, in that it's gonna be Adara and never her. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. So it's that argument right there. So you feel shitty, because it's like, what am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? So initially they started off as good friends. As I said, they came through the academy together. They were in the hard, and then Adora went on a mission, and then she found the sword of Etheria, and discovers that she's She-Ra. Obviously, it's and then finds out that she's actually a good person. It's supposed to be the hero, but also in season one, she's more of like split between, because she didn't really want to leave Katra, but then she had to leave Katra. And I think personally, on a personal level, for me, she could have saved Katra in the first season, man. I don't really know. Maybe they didn't want to focus on Hordak that much, and they knew he wasn't gonna be that interesting in the first season. So I mean, they had to find an antagonist somehow, and it's always a stronger storytelling point when you look at it from that perspective, because then you're like, okay, I know why she hates her. It's not just out of spite. It's out of, because it's a familial love. It's like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. It's not something that Darth Vader really wanted to do. It's because he's been indoctrinated with all these thoughts for that amount of time that he was Darth Vader, and that's why it kind of just came back to me, because it's Star Wars basically, the first season. And then the second season was more of the team building, as I said. They were looking for more princesses, and then their wacky, tacky adventures. A bit of conflict with Entrapta, that they've had met early on, and then moved into the Horde, where Katra enlisted and Entrapta because she knows about First One Tech, and does a lot of science and that, and she also kind of thought she was Jib, but then she realized that, oh, okay, she wasn't really abandoned. It was just a byproduct of not being able to contact Adora, because they left in a rush. It's a war, it's an ongoing war, so these things happen, honestly. And then the third season, man, just hit all the feels for me, especially the whole end arc, because specifically it was I would say the half point, which is like episode 3, where Ketra got cast aside, essentially, because Ketra was the first captain in season 2, and then she messed up a bit, and then Hordak kind of threw her aside as well, along with Shadow Weaver. But Shadow Weaver turned cold because she knows the risks that Hordak is taking, and is not willing to let the world go. So it's just one of those things, and I think it's one of those things where it's also like she wants to go and prove herself to Hordak, but she's not getting that full, satisfaction, because she wants to hear it from Shadow Weaver as well, seeing that Shadow Weaver was always kind of the mother figure in her life, if even I can say that, because they were from the academy. So I want to know more about Catra's story, to be honest. Honestly, I mean, I think Catra is the first one. Honestly, I mean, maybe the second one. I don't know. I forgot, but I think she was the first one, and then Adara came in, and it was sad that they brought back the memory of Adara saying, "As long as we're together, we'll be all right, right? As long as it's you and me." And then Adara was like, "Well, you chose this bed, now sleep in it." Essentially, which, I mean, is a pretty shitty thing to say, but then again, I mean, Ketra has always been, the stubborn kind, in that, she definitely wanted Adara to kind of take Ketra with Adara, but, Adara just didn't really do it, because I think she didn't want to go back to the place, to the Horde, to kind of take her and go on the wacky adventures and all that, and she'd never be able to accept all the princesses thing, I think, even if she ran. But you never know, man. You never know, and it's one of those sad things that you kind of have to accept and go, well, it's shitty, but I mean, you take what you get, right? I mean, but yeah, man, this has been quite a personal roller coaster ride show for me, because it's like up, then flat, and then up again. So it's a fun ride. But I would like to see a strong finish, and I hope season 4 is gonna be a strong. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a season 4. So this season was 6 episodes only, man. There should have been at least 10. So I don't know if they're waiting to put more episodes out, or they're just redrawing some stuff, maybe to put, maybe it's like season 3 part 2 or whatever. There's Tales of Arcadia part 2, but I haven't really watched Tales of Arcadia part 2 yet, so, and I'm not really interested in Tales of Arcadia, just putting it out there, because I don't really feel like it's a show where I'm gonna be interested, because I watched the first Tales of Clarity, and it was pretty good. But I mean, I don't feel like part 2 is gonna strike me as, oh shit, this is something I have to watch, because season 1 was just enough where I'm like, nah, they don't need a part 2. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm really surprised by She-Ra. I'm pretty sure the Steven Universe animators did some of the work here as well, because it's you can definitely see some of the Steven Universe designs, especially on Angela, where her whole jib made me think of Blue Diamond and all that, and Glimmer as well. Like looked a bit like Steven, and yeah, I mean, if you enjoy stories where like the relationship is all the ties, I mean, yes, you do get the oh, but why me, why was I chosen, especially in this season. It's all about finding herself, which in itself I think it's all like third season stuff, if you don't really introduce the character's backstory from early on, so it's one of those things where you're like, just shut up. But I mean, you understand why they have to do it. It's not just gonna be, why me, every day, all day, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just some episodes where she has to let it out, and she has to say, okay, why me, why this, why that, it could have been someone else, And in this episode, and in this season, she finds out that she was stolen from another world, which kind of makes sense. And I thought she knew that, because they said they did say that first ones are not from this world. So I mean, she's the first one. So connect the dots, girl. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of irritated me a bit, but I'm willing to forgive it if they don't focus on it too much, because this is like a throwaway thing. It's just like, oh, okay, she forgot, so, or she became too emotional that she didn't think that far ahead. So I mean, the whole Shadow Weaver thing is really good, because it's kind of the mother familial thing with Adora and Catra as well. Scorpio got a bit of a crush on Catra there, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's. I mean, I think Scorpio knows that she kind of did change Catra a bit, but then could not, because it's one of those things, and that's why I understand Catra's point of view a lot as well, because I'm pretty much the same way. I thought that the girl that I was really close to, we'd go all the way, but things change, people change, and I had to learn that the hard way. So it's one of those things that for Catra, she did want to evolve, and I think at that place I was in 2014, I understand what she was going through, because it was such a visual thing as well that they brought in, where she's covered in the black. Again, spoilers, but she's covered in the black, black mark that she got from the whole reality exploding thing, and then her half of the body is split, and then it's black one side, and then half of her body is still light. So where it's the normal color, like brown, gray, you still see one eye, the yellow eye. So it's very it was a very visual storytelling there, where it's saying that she got consumed with her emotion. She got consumed by her anger, her need to get as much attention as Adora, her need to say, I thought we were in this together, but you've obviously abandoned me in this boat. So where do you want me to go from there? Because there are some people like that. Like, I know I was in a similar position, but I think by the end of it, I was like, okay, I think that I understand why I'm in this boat now. I understand why I got here is because of the bed I did choose, and I have to sleep in it. But I don't necessarily have to sleep in it forever. I can change. I can evolve. I can move on. And I think that Ketra didn't really want to move on, and it's sad to see people who don't want to move on, because if she had moved on, I think she would have been a better villain, because she had a choice essentially in the series where she's in the Crimson Waste, and Scorpio looks to her and says, we don't have to go back. We could rule this place together, essentially the Crimson Waste together, because she is a badass. I'm not discarding that. She's a freaking badass. Even in season 2, where it wasn't interesting enough, Catra was a freaking badass, because she did everything. She fought. She had Scorpio on her back. Like, it's just amazing to watch her work. But she will always be consumed by her anger towards Adara, and her jealousy, her envy of Adara. And her need to get acceptance from Shadow Weaver, which won't really happen. I mean, Shadow Weaver is a cold, unliving being, but even Adara, where she starts off, hating Shadow Weaver, but she evolved into understanding because of the things that she found out about Shadow Weaver as well. Might I add? But essentially, she was like, okay, I get where Shadow Weaver is coming from now, and I know her games, but at the same time, we need as much information as we do, because we are on a timestamp, people. And some series doesn't do that well, and I think this series does it well, because it shows the timestamp, and it's just like, okay, we need to go now, we need to do this now. And of course, you'll have the family or the parental figures like, oh no, you can't do this yet, and then it's the mom, but then they do show as well why the mom is that way as well, and I think that's such a good decision, because then it shows you, like, okay, like, this is why you're like this. I mean, this is why you have to go through these things, because you need that experience in your life. Just go and say, okay, I know this now, and what can I do so that I can change things around? Do I want to do the same things and get the same result again, or can I look for something else, and can I change? And that's why I love Food Wars. I mean, I could sit here all day and talk about Food Wars, but I mean, I'm running out of time here, so I'll just leave you guys with this. If you guys are looking for an interesting series, an animated series, a series that won't take up too much of your time, because I do want to watch new series. This is that if it's too long, if it's like 1 hour plus long, like The Boys, I'm actually going to start to watch The Boys, but it's 1 hour long, and I'm like, fuck, can I even keep focused for this 1 hour? Is it gonna capture my attention? Is the characters gonna be good enough that I'll say, okay, I want to know more about this guy. I want to know more about, to say, Boy 1. I don't know what the fuck The Boys is about. I'm not a big comic book reader. I grew up with freaking boy bands and Spice Girls and musicals. What would I know? I mean, maybe Power Rangers, Ultraman, not really Transformers guys. I never grew up with Transformers. Maybe Hot Wheels. I had a Hot Wheels collection, but yeah, it's gone now. Sad, because I could have made money off of that, man. It wasn't mint, but I mean, the collection I had, like, it's not on the market anymore. I know that for a fact, because I keep looking for the one that I had, and it's not there. I'm just like, shit. So yep, that's about it, guys. I mean, I'm sorry for the long ramble, I guess. But She-Ra, man, She-Ra and the Princess of Power. What's my final rating? I give it a solid 8. 8.5 even. Man, this is up there. Steven just killed itself in the final season. I mean, most shows do that nowadays. I don't know why. Perhaps they don't have enough time, especially Food Wars, the manga. It's just, that's so bad. I hope the anime fixes that, but I mean, you never know, And they stuck pretty close to the manga anyway, so pretty sure they're gonna end the same way. So anyway, guys, this is me signing off. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you then.